Mortal Shell, the uncompromising, authentic, and hauntingly beautiful action RPG built upon the ruthless traditions of the Souls-like genre, has been revealed for the first time by the newly announced indie studio called Symmetry and its publishing partner Playstack. The eye-opening world premiere trailer, featuring a sample of its exquisitely crafted worlds, fearsome combat, and menacing foes, can be seen for the first time here. Previously known as Dungeon Haven in its earliest days of development, Mortal Shell has been painstakingly designed by a prize coalition of veteran developers who were credited with working on some of the biggest AAA titles on the market. Mortal Shell was only made possible due to the team's pedigree and burning desire to honor the painful majesty of the genre. So that is a statement on the Cold Symmetry website, the developers for Mortal Shell. And I just finished playing through the open beta for Mortal Shell, and I have to say that I'm really impressed. It's the first time I've played a beta in a long time where all I wanted to do was keep playing it. Even now that I've finished the preview, as they say, I still want to go back and start again and see what other things I can unlock or other secrets that I can find out. Now, I'm not like a huge Dark Souls fan. I played the first Dark Souls. The combat of Dark Souls to me feels like overly clunky and unresponsive. When I played the first Dark Souls, it had been out for many years and then was on Steam, so I wasn't impressed by the graphics at all. Dark Souls 3 came out. It was a better experience, but I still just didn't enjoy the challenging combat as much as others did. Sekiro came out, and Sekiro feels better and more in line with what I expected from the kind of combat I want in a challenging game like that. Mortal Shell really feels like a great iteration and a kind of combat that is challenging and rewarding, but you don't feel permanently helpless your entire playthrough. In Mortal Shell, you always have this ability to harden, which is, in essence, your way of blocking. You don't carry a shield, but your character can harden into stone and withstand an attack. Once you get hit with an attack, that harden breaks, and then you have to re-engage your enemies either with your own sword weapon attack, or to dodge out of the way, or to even parry. The combat system is fun and refreshing. It's not like Mortal Shell is an entirely new concept, but as stated by the developers, their focus is to honor the painful majesty of the genre. I think what they're doing with Mortal Shell is providing you a simple platform to slowly build upon your skills, and as well as unlocking different traits, giving yourself an opportunity to grow as you go through these different darkened areas of this new world that they've created.
They were a pathetic lot, squandering their time to drink moonshine and fight over scraps. An offering of a bag of tar garnered me their quick attention, but I sensed betrayal in their eyes. I knocked one down, and the other told me all he knew. As I turned to walk away, one struck my armor with a rock. Were they mad? I could just as soon cut them down as take a piss. I looked into their hungry eyes and warned them as much.
And be able to take on the enemies without always having to just do some sort of like dodge and then backstab. I'm not going to go into too much depth now and analysis of the game. I feel like I need more time to kind of digest everything that I've experienced. I have a lot of gameplay captured so far, but I wanted to put out a video on this game because I heard about it. The visuals were really striking. they opened the beta through the Epic Game Store, so I downloaded it, and then the second I started playing it, I was like, okay, I like what I'm seeing. So according to MortalShell.com, the release simply states coming Q3 of 2020. Q3 is sometime between now, August or September. So it could be that the beta is ending this Sunday, and who knows, the release could be the end of July or the beginning of August. I hope I don't have to wait till September to play it. You can get it on the Epic Game Store, but you can also get it on Steam. So the planned release date, according to Steam, is 2021, which is not what Q3 of 2020 would be. So it might be that it releases early on the Epic Game Store and then later will release on Steam. Yes, according to the Epic Game Store, it's available 2020. So if you want to play it on Steam and not Epic, you can wait. But now that I've played the beta, depending on the release date, I might just go ahead and buy it on the Epic Game Store. It was that fun. This game has definitely turned me into more of a Souls-like fan. There's something about the dark tone and aesthetic that just makes me want to keep playing. And I think that's my issue with the Dark Souls games. It was that I never felt like the challenging combat. I never felt like the punishment of Dark Souls paid off while you played it. Like, the story is cool, but the way it was delivered, I didn't really enjoy. And Mortal Shell actually is fun as you're playing because the combat gives you just enough of an edge on your opponent to understand how to deal with the bigger and more menacing opponents. It's not just the same dance every time you fight an enemy. There's a good amount of variation, and the weaponry is very interesting. I think that's another good point that they've done. I think they studied Sekiro and then appreciated Dark Souls a whole lot and sort of iterated on the newer fast-paced modern combat of Sekiro and created their own world similar to Demon Souls and Dark Souls, and then developed Mortal Shell. Needless to say, I recommend Mortal Shell. Maybe hop on Steam, add it to your wish list. I know that's typically a good thing to do for unreleased games. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'm Gentle Ben. Be kind to each other, and I'll see you in the next one.
You're awake. Good. Please, take this mask. It's not unlike my own. It reveals the way of all flesh, beyond life and death, where spirits pass across the threshold. But your spirit is bound here, unwilling to go on. Perhaps it has an obligation left to fulfill. You're not ready.